Good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to today's edition of NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold for this Thursday, the 12th day of November in the year of our Lord 2020. We here at Conservative Nation Media and NWCR hope that our veteran heroes had a wonderful Veterans Day yesterday. From Breitbart News comes this one. Tucker Carlson. Despite media dismissal of voter fraud claims, dead people voted in an election. It has been more than a week since the final votes were cast, and still many of Donald Trump's 72 million voters believe this election was fundamentally unfair, and they are right about that. There was massive outside interference in our democracy, and it didn't come from Russia. The tech monopolies of Silicon Valley use their unprecedented control over news and information to silence Donald Trump's voters and at the same time to protect Joe Biden. And then public health authorities and blue state governors wielded the pandemic like it was a partisan political weapon. It's hard to believe they actually did that, but they did do it. Corporate America helped them. And then there's the question of the votes themselves, the actual ballots. Democrats completely changed the way we voted in this election. Our system has never been more disorganized, and it has never been more vulnerable to manipulation. But that's the way they wanted it. So was there voter fraud last week? There's a question we've been working on since election night. We've tried to be careful and precise as we report this out. In moments like this, truth really matters more than ever before. False allegations of fraud can cause as much damage as the fraud itself. Jussie Smollett hurt more people with his lies than any actual hate crime. And the last thing America needs right now is more damage, so we want to be accurate. What we're about to tell you is accurate. It's not theory, it happened, and we can prove it. Other news organizations could prove it too. They just simply chose not to. The position of corporate media across the country this week has been very simple. There was no voter fraud. The New York Times, once the paper of record, declared that as fact this morning across the entire front page. Look at this banner headline. Election officials nationwide find no fraud. No fraud. None. End of story. Move on and listen to Kamala. You're hearing virtually the same thing from everyone in the media. Everyone. At CNN, the anchors have been repeating the approved message for days. They say it with a kind of brutal intensity that suggests precisely because they don't believe what they're saying. You absolutely must believe it. Shut up and accept the verdict, America. And now to remove the liberal blindfold here, folks. It's like I've said over and over and over again over the last 12 years, the Democrats do not want a fair election. Why? Because they cannot win a fair election. That is why, my friends, they have been working so hard to overturn the way America's founders set up our election process. The election process that was set up in this nation works, or at least the election process worked until 2020. Yes, my friends, it even worked in 2016 when Trump was elected. What didn't work then was the way the Democrats did what they could to tear down the system. And here is the problem with them and what they are doing. In elections, when the Republicans win, the Republicans go home and live their lives in the hopes that who they elected will serve them and the way that representatives in our government were meant to serve the people. But the Democrats do it differently. When they lose, they go back to the drawing board and then work out plans for the next election because their very lives and the way they want to live them depend on them winning. They look at what happened and what they did wrong to lose, and then they watch the social media and pick up on things people are saying, especially from the left, and then they figure out how to make the law-abiding people who voted against them the criminals and how to make the criminals who voted for them right. That is where we are at now. If you are really watching this election process before the election, Trump held all the aces. The Democrats only held the jokers of the deck. So they turned to the media, which is nothing more than false prophets of Baal, and of America now, and they use the media to push the lies that they wanted told to the people about Trump. We all remember the constant barrage against Trump the whole time he was the president. The Russian collusion fake crap, the fake impeachment, the impeachment trial when people like Maxine Waters told everyone that they must get rid of the criminal Trump. Remember the moment when Trump was vindicated and Nancy Pelosi threw her fit behind him and tore up the pages of his speech? The Democrats worked overtime every step of the way during the term of President Trump, and during all of that, they did nothing but cost the taxpayers millions of dollars while Trump quietly worked to make America great again. Not only here in America, but all over the Middle East, too. All the while the Democrats were saying Trump was going to get us into a war, it did not happen. The media telling everyone that Trump was a criminal, showing not one shred of proof along the way. And now they want everyone to believe that there was no fraud and cheating done in an election, and that Biden is going to bring peace back to America, and Biden is going to bring us all greatness again. Something like all the things that I talked about here, and Adam Schiff and others, makes me say I do not believe a word that comes out of any of their mouths, including the lying liberal lamestream media. That is another reason why I always end my updates and my shows with what a friend of mine used to always say: we will not be ruled. And like I said yesterday, don't take what I said wrong here, folks. The enemy of this nation has been the Democrat Party, but it is also the media, for the media is the same as the false prophets of Baal. This is Robert the Infidel for today's NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold from behind the silver microphone of freedom, which is brought to you through Conservative Nation Media, where we fight to make sure America always wins. Have a blessed day, and God bless you all, and I'll see you all again on Monday. Tomorrow is my weekly show, and on Saturday is Black by Color Only with Vincent Brown, and on Sunday is American by Design with Bing Fisher. God bless you all.